Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the date and time, and so timestamp. Timestamp, the Unix timestamp, is the number of seconds that has passed from the 1st of January 1970, and this is called Unix epoch. Timestamp, okay, so now the timestamp is a huge, our timestamp is a huge number. In 1970, probably it was a number of four, five characters, 10,000, 100,000, a million, etc. It can even be negative theoretically. So if you want to represent a date that is before 1970, you can. You just need to make a negative number. Okay, the first function that I will show you, the first function I will show you is time. So we can represent our timestamp very simply. We use echo time, and as you can see, it takes the time of today, 9 December 2023. To obtain the value of a timestamp that corresponds to a certain date, we use the function make time, and this function takes seven arguments, integers, in order. The first one is the hour, so 12. Then is the minutes, so 30 minutes, 12 hours, 30 minutes, seconds, 0 seconds. Then the month, so anything, free. The month, the day, so anything, and the year, which can be let's now 1975 to keep it short. Then you can give it for the problem of the daylight saving time, the legal hour. You can write 0. You can write 0 if you don't want to consider the daylight saving time. 1 if you want to consider it. -1 is a default value and means don't care about the daylight, and we don't want to care about it. Okay, so this is the number of 1975. It seems to be a little pretty big. It seemed that it didn't work, but it did. In fact, if I make 70, it gets considerably smaller. Okay, so it is working. It's just that every date you will find is too big, of course, and of course, okay, a human will never understand this, so we created other function, etc. Anyway, it's make time is very flexible. So we can of course, to give you an idea, we don't want to spend so much time with this. You can define a variable which is year, which is 1975. Then you define a month, and maybe these dates, they are not hard coded, but you have they are not hard coded, but they come from a databases, and we completed the picture, I think, of how this apparently useless function can be useful, later. Okay, so talking about how to create a useful date, the function now we will talk about is date. So we have date. The combinations to represent, since this function represents a timestamp in a readable manner, there are many different combinations that we can have. Here I reported a table, a list of a few, but anyway, now I give some examples, but you just need, if you want to know more, you just need to go to a unofficial documentation. There are a lot of possibilities, and that's it. Basically, people do it like this. They take day, month, year, and then if you want, you can extend it in hour, minutes, and second. I don't even do it, and then you need to give it you need to give it a timestamp. No, so you take make time and 12 for 1 1 2006. Okay, echo date, and as you see, it gives us a readable format to in order to convert this timestamp. Another function that is worth mentioning, that seems to be useless but can be is useful indeed, is check date. Check date receives 3 arguments and returns a boolean. So it just checks. In this case, we don't use echo but var dump, because we don't want it to be on the screen, but we want it to be on the logs. Actually, we are just checking, probably is inside an if statement. The point is to check wherever a date is it's true or fake. Why do we need this? It returns a boolean saying or true or false, no? So why do we need it? Because if in case we are working with forms, we need to know that the user is setting a valid date or some dummy value that are not that doesn't make sense. And so in that case, we would inform the user that he brought a value that doesn't make sense, and he has to reinsert bare value. And this is the function. Then another function is get the date. Get date receives as an argument it's this timestamp, and returns an associative array. Okay, so I don't give it any value, so it will just consider the current time, and then you can see, since it returns an array, we cannot echo it, because if you echo it, it will try to parse it into a string and fail, but we would use printer. Okay, my lapsus. I forgot, I wrote oggi, which is an Italian word for today, by the way. And even this one I should have commented out. Come back here. And here is our array of seconds, minutes, hour, etc. We can, we really get this a load of information that we want with this get date function. Another function that is not very used but worth mentioning is string to time. So we define a variable. We call it timestamp, and we say that string to time, and string to time works with English common words that indicates a date. So you can even say now. String to time now will string to time now. Then we say echo date. We return to our date function, and we say d m epsilon, then dollar timestamp. Boom. Let's see. And here it is. We can even write something that might be appeared more complex, like next Thursday. I think he should, if I write it well, let's say Wednesday, next Wednesday, and he will probably still be able to send a date. He do send a date. I swear it's next Thursday. I think at least. Then another possibility, for example, is plus 2 month is still something that that can go. It can go. February 02, 2024. It can work like this. For example, now let's we take this and I paste it in immediately here to take it simply. We take, for example, plus 2 month, plus 2 days, 3 hours, and then you give it a make time, and inside the make time 17 like this, and even this work as well. Okay, last thing worth mentioning, if you want precision, there is a micro time, a function called micro time, which can give us a Unix timestamp expressed in microseconds. This is I created this to show a use case more than the second in itself. It's calculating the time of execution of a script. So we have our function get micro time. We list. I don't want to talk about how I created this, no, but okay, we have two floats, second and microsecond. Then we have start and stop, and we have this time of execution that calculates the time of execution based on the difference between stop and start. Let's take this. Let's take this. Let's take even echo, because even echo takes a time to execute. Anyway, now if you, let's see. Okay, so here there is a time of execution of our script, and as you see, the time of execution get expressed is very different from one another. This I don't even know what does it mean. It means that is even smaller than 0 dot something probably. Anyway, just to say that if you will ever be in need of doing something like this, if you want a reliable calculation, you need to take more calculations and do the and then divide it to get a medium number, because a script can take even I don't know, 2 times the first execution to get executed. Okay, finish off the function about time and finish off the lesson. My suggestion is to make a practical use. For example, I was skeptical about creating a calendar in this lesson, but it was long and the lesson can't be too long. But and also, of course, this kind of things you can find it everywhere. So I suggest to you to create a calendar. Maybe I will even make a video about it, but not this video. 15 minutes, I think, is more than enough. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next lesson.